I'm Mayor Sandy Stimpson. It's Thursday, April 16th, coming to you from my office to give you an update on the coronavirus in our city and our community. I hope you had an opportunity last night or maybe today to see the video that was produced by the Mobile Infirmary. It's an amazing video of all the healthcare providers clapping and cheering for the recovery of a coronavirus patient. It's really a feel good, be proud of our city, be proud of our hospital and workers. And, it just goes to say that, there are people that are overcoming this. Certainly our hearts break for those that don't overcome it, but there are a lot more people that are getting the coronavirus, and by and large, the large majority of them are overcoming that virus. So we should never forget that. So that's a bit of good news. And on another note, beside coronavirus, much to the surprise of a lot of people, things in city government that are still working. I don't think anybody would have ever thought that the Planning Commission could do a Zoom meeting and it be live streamed. And that's going to be followed up next week with the ARB, the Board of Adjustments, and the Tree Commission meetings. Nobody could have ever thought that we would be doing those, but we will be doing that next week. And that's just to tell you that there are a lot of parts of city government that are continuing to function to serve you. So let's go back to the coronavirus just for a moment. And that is that, from the city's perspective, we're transitioning right now and making sure that we have defined lines between the city government and the unified command. And one of the things that we're trying to transition is the testing that's going on from the perspective of the use of the antibody test. So we've been in a couple of meetings today having those conversations. How do we make this handoff so that we can really more broadly test the city and the county of Mobile? And as you've heard in previous remarks that I've made, we had a schedule of priorities of what we were doing with the antibody test. And the first priority from the city's perspective was we wanted to test all of our first responders because we couldn't stand to lose them. So we've done that. Then we wanted to help the hospitals with all their workers. So yesterday, between healthcare workers at hospitals and a couple of clinics, we distributed over 3,500 test kits for them to test their personnel. And now what we're trying to do, and this is where at this transition point, where the data and how to be collected and all that will be determined by the unified command, but we want to do first responders in the entire county. And so we're having those conversations about how does that look and how do we report that information. But the city was able, through just the networks that we have and relationships we have, to really be getting a lot of test kits that other communities had. And so we want to be able to share those. A little later in this briefing, the camera's going to pan off me, and it's going to pan to Director Jim Barber and Sheriff Hoss Mack to talk about how we could possibly, and what we're doing to partner with the first responders in Baldwin County. Additionally, today we've continued to kind of keep our ear to the ground, reach out into our network, and to find out who is in need of the personal protective equipment. We don't have all the items that are needed by our frontline workers, but for those items that we do have, and we happen to have a lot of face masks, we're trying to make sure that nobody goes without the real, when I say face mask, it's the real mask, the N95 or the KN95. But just as a reminder, when we talk about our citizens using face coverings, which could be a bandana, it could be a homemade mask, but that's to protect you when you're going into the retail outlets. And so yesterday, Dr. Isho from the Mobile County Department of Health, he issued an order saying that starting tomorrow morning, if you go into those stores, we strongly recommend that you wear the face coverings. And we're hoping that you'll do that because it's not only protecting yourself possibly, but it's also protecting those that you're around. And the other thing it's doing, it's sending a message to everybody that you're around that you're serious about this. You don't want to infect them, nor do you want to be infected. And I really think that peer pressure of you looking around in those departments, those grocery stores, I hope that the people that don't have it, are going to realize, well, maybe they should put it on and be one of those who are really sensitive to the spread of the virus. we're coming into that point where we hope that we're peaking in the city of Mobile. It does, even though we're doing more testing, it seems like that from some of the high numbers that we've seen that it may be starting to wane, but we're way too early to declare victory. That's on out. But I think by next Monday, we'll be looking at numbers and we'll have a much better picture of where we are with the coronavirus and what the trend looks like. So at this time, what I would like to do is I'd like to move the microphone over to Director Barber and Chief Hofsmack and let them tell how they're collaborating to continue this process of working with first responders in Mobile and Baldwin County to make sure that our citizens are safe.
And I'm Director Jim Barber with the City of Mobile, and just to kind of give everybody an update on where we are with antibody testing of first responders as well as our frontline medical personnel. We did receive thousands of more kits thanks to Mayor Stimpson ordering those kits for not just City of Mobile but for the region. We have had one firefighter that was asymptomatic and positive COVID-19 now returned to work. He is now negative for positive, so he has recovered fully and is back to duty. We still have 4 police officers out. We then began a process of working with the Sheriff's Department here in Mobile to get our corrections facilities under control of the Mobile Metro Jail with a coronavirus outbreak that was occurring there and protecting our correction officers. As the kits continue to become more and more available, we began to expand that out, including all of our local hospitals to make them available, as well as nursing homes that need these particular antibody kits. And again, I was reached out by Sheriff Hofsmack of Baldwin County and trying to help protect first responders in Baldwin County. And so we began that process. He submitted those lists and we began that process, I believe, around Tuesday. And from that, I'll flip to Sheriff Hofsmack on what we're doing in Baldwin County.
Hello, I'm Sheriff Hofsmack of Baldwin County. We did start this process last week in conversation about trying to do the antibody test for our over 250 deputies and corrections officers with the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office. We have had such a long-standing relationship with our partners over here with Mobile PD and Mobile County SO. And when we learned what Mayor Stimpson had done in setting up the facility at Ladd, we just decided there was no need to reinvent the wheel. That if we could be a partner in that and come in and have our people tested, we extended out, and Mayor Stimpson and Director Barber both were immediately on board. We began to start working out the logistics of how we could bring our people over. We were able to implement that this past Monday. We submitted our first list. And on Tuesday, we had 40 employees of the Baldwin County Sheriff's Office that was tested. We actually had one individual that tested positive on the finger prick test, but subsequently tested negative on the nasal swab. And that would have been an individual that we would not have known about, that was critical to our operation had we not been able to have the ability to participate in this program. We have another 30 people that are in the queue that will be being tested possibly tomorrow that will be coming over. Also, with Director Barber's permission, we've reached out to our police departments in Baldwin County, and we're working with them now to try to set this up, because Mobile and Baldwin County, while we may be separated by water, we're just a large community. And we work very well together, and it only makes sense that we're trying to address this whole issue from both sides of the bay, because our people are continuously going back and forth. And so we're very appreciative to the administration here in Mobile for extending us that opportunity that we believe in the end will just extend us to be able to keep doing our job and save lives.
You made a brief remark about the functioning of city government and things that we're doing differently in order to make sure that we can serve the citizens. I'll also throw a little bit of a teaser out there and just tell you that for those who hadn't been downtown in the last 2 weeks, or those who hadn't had the opportunity to ride around town, you're going to be amazed at what has been done by way of paving and making use of this downtime where there's a lack of traffic in the downtown area. You're going to be very impressed with it. So I'm tremendously grateful for the contractors and our engineering department that have made all that happen. So I appreciate you joining us today. For those that would like to receive our nightly, the mayor's newsletter, you can go on our website on the coronavirus page and sign up for it. But that kind of gives a summary of what we're doing from the city's perspective. So that's all I have today. I hope you'll join us again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Thank you very much.